Next to you, Starstruck. In Adrienette, alternate universe, fake dating AU, apartment neighbors AU, and famous AU, chapter 19. This is highly unexpected. Marinette blinks at the scene in front of her. When she woke up this morning, she didn't think that she would see this right in front of her apartment building. At this point, one would think that Marinette is used to all the random twists and turns of her life, but honestly, it still shocks her. Marinette stares at the woman in front of her with an open-gaped mouth. The latter doesn't seem fazed or even looks like she realizes how strange this situation is. Thank goodness. Marinette has a pretty good guess as to what she's here for. If she wasn't given a heads up long ago, Marinette would have been in a shrieking panic. Kagami Tsurugi, Marinette says with a forced smile. The woman in front of her doesn't say any pleasantries. What are you doing here? She says, adjusting her purse. It is silent and nerve-wracking. And Marinette really just wants to get to work. Marinette Dupan Chang, Kagami says stoically. Marinette nods at her. That is her name. You are dating Adrienne Agreste. Her posture stiff and rigid, and Marinette meekly nods her head. Kagami doesn't seem threatening, at least not intentionally threatening. Whereas Chloe had looked her up and down and turned her nose up at her, Kagami only stares at her like an equal opponent to fight. It's not as pretentious and condescending. It looks a lot more like she wants to talk and get something that she wants. Marinette can feel her persistence, not envious spite, especially after looking her up on the internet and doing some family background research. Marinette can only guess that Kagami is here to persuade her to split with Adrienne. She knows that if it was Chloe in front of her, disapproving of their relationship, she'd pull out every dirty trick in the book to get her way. At least with Kagami, it would stay on even ground and be fair and classy. Hopefully. Why are you here? Marinette asks, swallowing her dry throat. I mean, I don't mean to be rude, but however, I have work pretty soon and I try my best not to be late, she babbles. Kagami puts a hand up to stop her talking, and Marinette frowns a bit. Was she wrong? Is Kagami more self-important than she had hoped she would be? I would like to speak with you. I will call in for you at your workplace. Where do you work? Kagami says in a monotone voice. Marinette raises a brow as she stares at her surprise. She stutters out her company name, and it's not even 5 minutes later that a phone call has been made and ended. You have the next 2 days off. That's all Kagami says before motioning for Marinette to just get in her car. It's quite scary to just get into someone's car. Someone who you don't know's car. But the look on Kagami's face is a bit more than terrifying. Okay, Marinette squeaks. The car seems very nice, and it's definitely the most luxuriant thing she's ever been in. Adrienne never likes splurging on these sorts of things and has fun being a normal person and buying the usual mid-priced and slightly irritating models. So, what do you want to talk about? Marinette asks. She knows the answers. She's no idiot, but the air is uncomfortable around them, and she's made a habit of filling the space at almost all means necessary. Adrienne. Brief and straight to the point. Kagami doesn't even look at her. Marinette shrinks down and resides to stare out the window. They pass by gates and trees, and more gates and trees, and gates and trees, and gates and trees, and gates and trees, and trees, and gates and trees, and gates, and so many more that Marinette's head is spinning. How fast are they going? She looks to her side and notices how calm, yet strangely nervous Kagami is. She's still rigid as a board, head straight and back standing tall. But her lips are twitching. Her breathing is erratic. Marinette frowns. She must be afraid to look afraid. She makes a mental note to find a way to bring that up. Find a way to help her, and hopefully find a way to make it out here alive. They finally reach a house. Its walls are light green, and it looks incredibly nice. The driver comes out to open the door for Kagami. Marinette opts to get out all by herself. It's silent, other than the running of the car and the sound of the door slamming closed. Kagami stalks up the stairs of the house. Marinette follows, close behind. The door is unlocked, and with a single peek through the door, Marinette sees how crisp the house looks. It's clean, and it's neat, and it's in perfect mint condition. It's very obvious that no one lives here, at least not full-time. Your house is nice, Marinette comments awkwardly as she's led up the stairs into a very extravagant sitting room. It is not my home, but your comment is well received, Kagami says stiffly. Marinette nods sheepishly and looks away. This is such an incredibly awkward situation. I would like to speak with you, Kagami says, leaning towards her infinitesimally. About Adrian. Marinette gulps. But she knew this question was coming. All right, Marinette says with a trying smile. What about him? How long have you been together? Oh, nearly 7 or 8 months now? Something along that, Marinette says. We've done a few interviews about it. We talk about our relationship, she offers. Kagami nods. I have seen them, yes, she states. You and Adrian look very happy together. She wants to say, yes we are. She wants to be snobby and smug and borderline rude. She wants to look Kagami right in the eyes and tell her that Adrian has never been happier than he is with her. She wants to pull out all the stops to make Kagami back off and never bother them again, no matter how hard her feelings will get hurt. But Marinette has never been that type of person, for better or for worse. She just isn't. We are, Marinette says pleasantly. This causes Kagami to sigh, and for the first time, she slumps. Marinette's shocked and gaping at her, and Kagami doesn't seem to notice it at all. I am sorry then, the woman in front of her says. She sounds genuine. She sounds like she doesn't mean any harm in any way, shape, or form. She sounds like she regrets being a threat. Marinette narrows her eyes and asks slightly suspiciously, Why are you sorry? What happened? What did Kagami do? What is making her say that she's sorry? Did she try to seduce Adrian? She wouldn't. I mean, Marinette would have known if something happened. Adrian would have told her. Nothing happened, or else Marinette would have already known. Unless Adrian lied and has been keeping it a secret from her? He wouldn't! But what if he did? No, maybe? Adrienette tries to keep calm and listen. Just listen to why Kagami is sorry and to go on from there. I hate to make you less than happy, I am sorry that I will be his wife and not you. It's shocking, the words that Kagami is telling her. What is possibly more shocking is how sincere they are. They sound arrogant, that's no doubt, but she sounds like she's genuinely feeling awful. As if she's tried everything in her power to change fate, but alas, she's meant and destined to marry Marinette's boyfriend. It's crazy, really. Downright absurd. She blinks once, twice, thrice times. Truly, if there is a world where you could be forever happy with each other, I bless it so, Kagami says solemnly. Marinette stutters. What do you mean, wife? She says in shock. He's my boyfriend. She nearly stands up in defiance, but can't bear to do that right now. Kagami looks oddly heartbroken. She looks so guilty. I know he is, right now. Kagami sighs, and Marinette has to bite back a jab. But we have been promised to each other since we were young kids. It is our duty to our parents, she says firmly. The only explanation for whatever is happening right now is that Marinette is suddenly in some dystopian fantasy book series. Or maybe she's just met a lot of people with some really awful manipulative parents. Kagami looks so sure and solemn. Duty to your parents? She says. The urge to shout and scream like a jealous little girl is prevalent, but it would get her nowhere. All it would do is make her appear to the rigid and logistic Kagami that she is an idiot with no control. It's the 21st century. You're not royals that need to marry for alliance reasons, she points out. Kagami sighs dejectedly, and Marinette softens. Kagami clearly doesn't want to marry Adrian either. Our families have always been in business. It is only wise to forge a true connection. She looks away with a far-off look on her face. It's filled with pain, longing for freedom, and slight bitterness. Marinette has seen this type of look before on Adrian's features when he talks about his life under Gabriel's control. When I was young, my mother explained to me how important it is to bring honor to our family. I must do what is best for our family. I was promised Adrian by his father. He was promised me. I am a good daughter. I am loyal, and I am obedient. I wish not to hurt you, only to fulfill the life laid out in front of me. Marinette looks at her incredulously. Kagami, I understand what you're telling me. I understand that your mother wants you to do this. But do you even want to marry or be with him? She asks, pleading for honestly. Kagami looks to the ground in shame. No, she says quietly. It's deafening. I do not fancy myself around people I have never really known much about before. However, my comfort level is not a factor in here. I'm sure I will grow to care for him, she says determinedly. Marinette huffs a hollow laugh. It's not something you want. You don't need to follow it, Marinette cries out. Kagami opens her mouth for a retort, but Marinette is quick to continue. Especially because Adrian is not going to. Your parents' plan, it hinges on both of you listening and doing what they want. Adrian has already run away. He's already out. If his father was to call him and tell him to break things off with me to marry you, he'd shout and laugh and hang up the phone. He's not like you. He's not going to listen. And she takes in a breath. It's not a bad thing that you listen. Trying to do what's best for your loved ones is hardly wrong, but you following the plan that they made you and you're deflecting doesn't actually have a real difference. Kagami is shocked. She looks beyond shocked. She's frozen in place, and Marinette cautiously takes a seat next to her. The former doesn't attempt to maul her or shout or scream, so she takes it as a good sign. But my mother, she knows what's best for me, and she's brilliant and accomplished in everything, and deflecting from her, it is like shooting away triumph. She reasons out. Marinette gives her a small and almost sad head nod. Yeah, I realize that, Marinette says with an awkward laugh. But I'm not saying don't listen to your mother because she is wrong. I'm saying maybe don't follow everything she wants you to do when it doesn't bring you joy or only end in hurt, Marinette says tentatively. A marriage between you and Adrien may be something that you're willing to do, but it's not something he's willing to do. No matter if you get all ready in white and show up to the ceremony, he's not going to show up, and it won't fall into place in the end. Whether you do everything your mother thinks is best right now, or if you do everything she doesn't want you to do, isn't going to change the outcome. Whether you listen to her or not, it's still going to end up with no marriage at all, Marinette says. The woman in front of her is twisting in denial, and Marinette's heart breaks for her. But our families, my mother, his father, it is our duty to listen and be respectful to our family. To do as they ask, to please them, she presses. She was looking more and more distressed. Marinette smiles empathetically. Adrien doesn't care about what his father demands of him. He doesn't care about what his father wants anymore. He's found that he's happier when he makes his own choices. Now, I'm not saying that you have to be like him and rebel or run away or anything. It's really been a complicated road since that happened. I mean, why don't you do something that makes you happy? Rather than worrying about trying to get Adrien to join the family again, which is something he's never gonna do. Your parents aren't going to get what they want in the end, no matter what happens. So, wouldn't it be nice to do something you love or be with someone you love until whenever the end of your parents' decade-long plans come to an end? Kagami looks at her and nods. Perhaps. Her voice is soft and is filled with more hope than before. Look, if you need it, I'm here. I'm here to be a friend and to help you, Marinette offers. She shyly takes Kagami's hands and squeezes them. You have a ton of skills. Fencing, debate, karate. I'm sure there's much more that I don't know about. Focus on those. Focus on finding something, or maybe someone that'll make you happy, as happy as me and Adrien are. I think you'll be happier with your own choice than your mother's, Marinette says. Perhaps, Kagami says, as if tasting the idea for the very first time. Thank you, Marinette Dupanche, she says, giving a smile. It's nervous and looks a bit odd, but she appreciates the effort. Of course, Marinette says, happy to help someone in need. And, to keep her boyfriend. She's also happy about that.